Dobry den and welcome to Prague for a high-pressured matchup in Group D at EuroBasket 2022. The hosts, Czech Republic and the Netherlands, both winless so far. This one is close to being make or break at the O2 Arena. Yes, the winner here this afternoon will get their EuroBasket campaign back on track. The loser will sit on the brink of elimination. I'm Tim Long alongside FIBA analyst Josh Davis. This is the 41st edition of basketball's European Championships, and another big crowd expected here in the Czech capital as these fans look to push their team towards a first win. It's the second game on this court. On game day 3, earlier on, we saw Poland and Israel, their first defeat. Both teams now at 2-1. And later this evening, it's Serbia against Finland, Jokic against Markkanen. We'll see these two nations at the bottom of the group, both at 0-2 so far. Only the top 4 from the 16 group make it through, so now is the time for that first win. Josh, this Czech team so impressive in reaching the World Cup quarterfinals in 2019, now hosting a first major international tournament since 1981. The expectations were high. Can they put things right here this afternoon?
Well, they've had a couple of tough games, obviously, against Poland. They were right there pretty much towards the end. Against Serbia, tough competition, Jokic. But this is the game that they circled as obviously a must-win, not just from a standing standpoint, but also Netherlands kind of the least favorite in this group. Meanwhile, the Netherlands has played very, very well. They've shot the ball lights out. They're 48% from the field, 44% from 3. Murthy the Young has been an absolute assassin from the perimeter. Yannick Frank could be healthy. They've got some size inside. You see the big man there, Matt Harms, on your screen right now. But they're also looking for a win. For them, they could still technically, qualify by winning the next couple of games. So a lot on the line here for both sides.
Yeah, the Dutch, the most accurate team on the perimeter in EuroBasket, knocking down 44% of their three-point attempts. Although they're 0-2 so far, they have fought in both games, got within 5 of Serbia in the third quarter on game day 1, and then ran out of steam late on. And pushed Israel all the way to the final moments on Saturday, losing by 7. But listen to the reaction from this crowd in Prague for Czech Republic, who have so far faltered in front of 11,000 in game 1 and 15,000 in game 2. They lost Satoransky, a re-agitation of his ankle injury down the final stretch of that close game to start here on Friday, and then played without him on Saturday. They will be without their point guard again for this one.
Yeah, it's tough, obviously, not to have your best player in the lineup, but they do have 11 other guys that are ready to go. You've seen a couple guys step up in that last game against Serbia. Most notably, Thomas Kislink played very, very well. Vic Vici also had a fairly good game himself, so they'll be looking on those two guards to really step up again.
A big afternoon for Ronan Ginsberg and his team. First, we will pause for the 2 national anthems.
Please remain standing for the national anthem of Czech Republic. Prosím, zůstaňte stát, zazní také hymna Česka.
The Czechs 12th in the world, the Netherlands 47th. But the Czechs have lost their 2 recent World Cup qualifiers, their last 2 prep games ahead of this tournament, and their first 2 games here in Group D. They've lost 6 straight at EuroBasket as well now, their longest losing run in the competition this century. All 6 defeats coming by a margin of 12 or more. But the Dutch have also lost their last 6 EuroBasket games, their worst run in 45 years, only losing more in a row, with a run of 16 defeats from 1963 to 1975. Before we get your starting 5s, an introduction to your officiating team from Bosnia, Slovenia and Lithuania for this second of 3 games on this court on game day 3 in Group D. The starting 5 for the Dutch first: Van der Verst de Vries, the young point guard; Worthy de Jong, the top scorer; Karazi, defensive specialist; Yuto Kok and Charlon Kloof in that starting 5. Kloof, who was big at EuroBasket 2015, hasn't quite got going so far here.
Yeah, Kloof coming in, averaging 9 points per game. Is shooting the ball 50%, had a much better game in the second one against against Israel. 11 points, 2 of 4 from the 3. Did have 12 points per game in the World Cup qualifiers. You see there his stats. Obviously playing his professional ball at FC Porto. But that first game, just 7 points on 2 of 6 from the field. So they'll be looking at him to be aggressive. Maurizio Buscaglia doesn't want him settling for too many threes. Of course, Kloof, a very athletic guard, can get to the basket.
Maurizio Buscaglia, the Italian head coach of the Netherlands, and we'll get a check on the Czechs starting 5. Wojtek Ruban, one of their players who needs to step up here. Andrei Senel is the backup to Satoransky, who's injured. Vesely 0 of 6 from the field in the last game. Martin Krish and Tomasz Kisling also in that starting 5. But Wojtek Ruban just 2 of 11 from 3-point range. He's averaging 17.7 points in World Cup qualifying, where he's shooting 46% on the perimeter.
Yeah, he's been rushing his shot a little bit. You see his stats against Serbia: 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Did have a few clutch baskets to kind of bring them back into the game. It felt like they were making a run until Serbia kind of put them away. But also interesting in that starting lineup, no Jaromir Boacic. So Boacic had a great first game, but the second game only played about 7 minutes, scoreless 7 minutes at that, after having 13 points in that first game against Poland. So Boacic, who is a smooth lefty, he's been around, obviously, played at the World Cup in China, but for whatever reason, not included in the current starting lineup.
Coach Ronan Ginsberg trying to find the right combination. They've done okay as a team on the perimeter, but struggled in the interior in both games.
Yeah, you talk about getting the lineups right. They got 41 points from their bench on average, right? So that starting lineup hasn't really had the firepower that they need. Thomas Kisling, number 77, though, was one of those guys coming off the bench, providing a lot of energy. And clearly, since they have lost their last 6 games in the EuroBasket, Coach Ginsberg wants to make some type of adjustment early on here.
And the Netherlands might be shooting the lights out, but they've given up 14 offensive rebounds on average and committed 15.5 turnovers. The 2 big areas that they need to put right if they're to get their first win.
And we did highlight Charlon Kloof, but also keep an eye on Worthy de Jong. He had a tremendous first game, 28 points on 11 of 14 shooting. A little bit quieter in that second game against Israel, but still 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. He is, simply put, their best player.
Yannick Franke is available to play some minutes for the Netherlands. One of their stars who's been dealing with injury. Satoransky has not made it for Czech Republic, as these 2 look for their first win of this tournament. 2 teams who both lost 6 in a row at EuroBasket altogether. Another defeat would be deeply damaging to aspirations of reaching the last 16 in Berlin. The Dutch are the underdogs. They weren't expected to light up this tournament, but the Czech Republic hosting a major international event for the first time in over 4 decades. There was a huge amount of anticipation, and after their performance in the last World Cup, a great weight of expectation arriving into this competition. It seems like everything has gone wrong so far. Satoransky remains out, and they felt the crunch here in the capital. Now on game day 3, the pressure is palpable in Prague. Myself, Tim Long, alongside FIBA analyst Josh Davis to talk you through the action. And straight away, everything continues to go wrong for Czech Republic.
Well, Czech Republic did not watch the film or the scouting report because that's the same play that the Netherlands ran for De Jong against Serbia, getting an easy dunk today, an easy layup for him.
Kisling, he'll take the three and answers right back. Gives these fans something to cheer for the first time.
Well, Ginsberg rewarded for inserting Kisling in the starting lineup. It's a three right off the bat.
De Jong moving it on to a man who stepped up on game day 2, Karazi. Van der Verst de Vries, the 20-year-old point guard. Here's Karazi up against Senel. Spinning into the double team, shot falls short, rebound grabbed by Kreech.
Yeah, you mentioned Karazi, 10 points against Israel, 5 of 7 shooting to go with 6 rebounds. A great performance from him.
Here's Senel working with Vesely. No look pass across to the far side. Back to Senel again. Plenty of time left on the shot clock here. Down to 5 now. Point guard to point guard. Nose to nose. 3-point shot. Falls short. And look at the battling of Tomasz Kisling. Down the baseline as well. Off to Vesely, who's fouled on his flight path, and they've called it unsportsmanlike.
Well, I think it was a follow-through on the foul where they're going to get Karazi. Because he initially did go for the ball. You see the nice dump-off pass from Kisling. And Karazi, tough call on him, you know. He's trying to prevent Vesely from scoring, but we're going to call the unsportsmanlike.
He's a record 3-time Defensive Player of the Year in the Dutch League. No other player has won that award on 3 occasions. Jan Vesely, one of the continent's biggest high flyers. Karazi determines to keep him on the runway.
Vesely needs a real strong bounce-back game. 0 of 6 from the field, just 2 points from the foul line against Serbia after going for 17 points in the first game against Poland.
He's matched his 2 points already here. Knocking them both down, and the Czechs get possession as well as Satoransky watches on from the bench.
Nice feed there from Senel to Herban, but De Jong able to deflect it out of bounds.
Free throws and possession of the unsportsmanlike foul. Now inbounds deep to Kruban. Kruban through a pack of orange and finding a free pass through the paint to the basket.
I really like that move from Herban, not settling for the jump shot, attacks the basket, gets his first 2.
As well as shooting 46% on the perimeter in World Cup qualifying, he's 57% from 2. Looking to come to the fore here in this tournament for the first time. Cock to the far side, 3-point shot for the Dutch, rims out. Kloof off the mark. An opportunity for the host to stretch a 5-point advantage. Senel to Vesely. Up to Senel again. He takes the mid-ranger. Rebound Koch. Kloof slows down the pace. Finds Van der Verst de Vries, who calls the play. Out comes Koch. Runs interference on the perimeter. Kloof's just missed a 3. Into Karazi. Back to Van der Verst de Vries. It's going to be a deep 3 for him. Nowhere near.
Yeah, Van der Verst de Vries somewhat struggling from the field. Comes in shooting about 38% overall and 38% from 3.
There's that score for Kruban at the other end. The Czechs up by 5. Kruban hands it off to Senel. 7 assists with 3 turnovers against Serbia for Senel. Kruban aggressive on the interior, misses that one. Van der Verst de Vries salvaging 4.5 assists a game. Kloof back to the point guard. Koch rolls inside, got tripped in the paint though.
Yeah, Van der Verst de Vries was looking for the lob. You see Vesely arguing his case. You take a look right there. I think it was called on, well, it actually wasn't Vesely that tripped him. They called a foul on Vesely.
He's pleading his case. He had 2 early fouls in the first game to slow him down, Jan Vesely, before coming back to finish with 17 points in 21 minutes, and then went 0 for 6 from the field against Serbia.
So they actually gave the foul to Martin Kreech for the trip up.
shooting foul, so the Dutch will inbound from the baseline with Van der Vries. Finals MVP in the Belgian League at just 20 years old this past season. Kloof threatens the three. Back to Worthy de Jong. Van der Vries. Up high, determined to get it to Kok, but Vesely disrupting the high pass.
Nice save there from Sanal as well.
And now leading the break, Jan Vesely. Ruban. Into the paint, aggressive again, grabs his own rebound. Misses both though, poke back out. It's Krish for three. No. Plenty of opportunities, but no points.
Oh, can't leave him open.
He doesn't need a second invitation. Misses that one though. Vesely underneath it. Kloof, the guard, gets in to score.
Great job by Karazi keeping that possession alive with a tap. And Kloof, nice lefty finish.
The Czechs had several opportunities to stretch a 5-point lead. Now it's down to 3. Vesely able to score despite the contact. He's got such a soft touch for a big man.
Well, bodies drop, but no actual foul on the plays. You see here, a nice dump off, Kislink to Vesely, who crashes into Kok. And here, Vesely, the nice little deflection, and then the save from Sanal. Great hustle from those two players.
Hard to keep the former EuroLeague title winner and MVP quiet. Vesely so far responding, and the Czech Republic so far responding here on game day 3. De Jong dancing with the defense. Pass that to be reeled in. Down the baseline goes Leon Williams. De Jong for 3 over Vesely, misses.
Yeah, 2 open looks for De Jong, not going down as Kloof deflects it out of bounds. And of course, De Jong, who comes in shooting 60% from the field, 50% from 3. Been one of the best scorers in the tournament, but unable to get off the schneid here so far early on. Well, did have that layup, I guess, off the tip.
De Jong had 28 points against Serbia in game 1, all the way through. A path open in the paint again, and they're determined to get to the basket. That time it was Andre Senel. The Czechs have been struggling on the interior at this tournament. And that time Karazi fouled on the interior for the Dutch, goes to the line for 2.
That's going to be the second foul on Krish. As you see, Karazi, not necessarily known as a slasher, but that time makes a nice strong drive. To see Sanal off the hesitation, able to get all the way to the cup. And off the bench for the Czech Republic, Martin Peterka, who's been one of the premier three-point shooters here in the tournament.
Yeah, Peterka 6 of 9 from downtown over the first 2 games, and also at 57% in World Cup qualifying.
That's his role. He's a spot-up shooter as a big man.
Karazi recovers from missing the first to hit the second. The Czechs lead by 6. Senel getting away from Williams, forced to put the brakes on by Kok, and there he goes! Grounded in game 2, the Czech jet takes off in Prague here on game day 3.
A great feed from Sanal to find the high-flying Vesely.
3-point shot, far side, rims out, what a follow that was though. Picking up the pieces and putting it back in, Yuto Kok.
Well, a couple high flyers here in this first quarter. Dangerous pass.
Kislink had moved away down the baseline, and Struban threw it away.
Well, here you'll see Sanal driving, stopping on the dime, and finding the cutting Vesely, who throws it down. Little two-handed hammer.
Stretching strike from Jan the man. Sixth the lead for Czech Republic. That one was instantly cancelled out by Yuto Kok. And then the turnover followed to a chance for back-to-back scores here for the Dutch. Koch balancing the baseline, did well to save it off the ankles of Vesely.
I think, yeah, Koch was expecting that to be a lob towards the rim. Williams threw it behind him. Fortunate to not be a turnover.
As it goes around to the far side, three-pointer onto the top of the backboard.
Yeah, Leon Williams, see him there just missing that shot. Just 4 points per game. Hasn't looked for his shot too much.
We said before the game, the Dutch the most accurate three-point shooting team in the competition at 44%. They're 0 of 6 here. And they've only taken 4 two-point attempts. Vesely. Little up fake from Bo Hatchick, who's in the game, having missed out on the starting 5. He's working behind the frame of Vesely. Bo Hatchick. Beautiful little floater in the lane.
Yeah, smooth lefty. Very much under control, always plays at his own steady pace.
The hosts lead by 8 points. Koch, who's really tried to attack on the interior so far, this time draws the foul and will go to the line for 2.
With a nice feed from the young. Koch goes straight to the basket. Avoids a couple of potential shot blocks, but draws a foul. We see here Bo Hatchick with the runner in the lane.
Not just 0 of 6 from 3, they're now 1 of 3 from the stripe. Make it 2 of 4.
So Balvin checks in for the first time, replacing Vesely. The big man has been productive inside. Got in a little bit of foul trouble, fouled out in the last game against Serbia.
Balvin, a more physical centre, looking to back in, create some space for his teammates. Kisling misses, picks up the pieces and puts it back in.
And you see why the Broza Bamberg guard has been put into the starting lineup again. Is very aggressive, staying with his shot. Second chance opportunity. Also Yannick Franke in the game here, number 0 for the Dutch. First time playing with De Jong.
Absolutely, yeah. De Jong misses though. It's not happened for him so far. Down to get it, so too is the 7-footer Balvin, and Koch grabs it but slides off the floor.
There you see Kisling missing the first opportunity. Doesn't give up on the play. Goes right back up with it. Pushes the lead out to 9.
Largest lead of the game for the Czechs, and they have the ball back. But do remember how quickly the Dutch can strike if they start to find their range from long range. And for the first time at this tournament, they have their 2 biggest offensive weapons on the floor in Worthy de Jong and Yannick Franke. Chance to make this a double-digit lead, though, for the host. They're going to battle all the way through to the basket, losing it on his way through. Bo Hatchick, recovered, though, by Krejci. Balvin. Balvin looking to show his muscle. Important rebound from Jesse Edwards. And Leon Williams can fly forward, the veteran. Gets it back, open spot on the perimeter. Didn't want to take the shot, though. Worthy de Jong, he will take it, but he'll keep on missing it. 0 of 3 on the outside now, and in transition, it wouldn't quite go for the high-flying Kisling.
Yeah, just a little bit short on that one, and then 2 free throws to come here as Krejci commits a transition foul. There you see it again, the lob. Didn't quite have the extension to throw it down.
Worthy de Jong challenging the shot. We've seen a few chase back blocks from him, refusing to give up on plays. Krejci 2 fouls since coming in the space of just 2 minutes.
Yeah, Coach Ginsburg giving him a bit of an earful. The OKC Thunder guard needs to be a little bit smarter there as Franke knocks down the first free throw.
Also the Czechs' 4th team foul with 2.5 to play in the quarter. Could have been the first double-digit lead on that converted alley-oop. Instead, a few seconds of game time later, they're down the other end, and it might well be a 7-point margin. And it is. Foul shots for Franke, who's their top scorer in World Cup qualifying, 16.8 points per game, but dealing with a hand injury here at EuroBasket. Krejci still on the floor on those 2 fouls. 3-point shot, far side. The Czechs do have their double-digit lead.
Well, you got to know that Peterka is going to pop out to that 3-point line where he's most comfortable. As Frank looks to answer, he can't.
Well, it's that man again, Martin Peterka. So clinical on the perimeter. Jelinek into Balvin. Balvin on the muscle mismatch, backing down his man, drawing a foul. He'll go to the line for 2.
Well, Jesse Edwards is a pretty big guy himself, 2 meters 11, but giving up a few kilos there to Balvin, who just muscles his way to the front of the rim, draws another foul. We'll get some couple free throws once we come back from the timeout. There's that Peterka 3 on the last possession. And a great start here for the Czech Republic.
Timeout, they lead by 10, 20-10.
We have no flow from the beginning. We have no flow. Too much static, too much of court. We have no flow. So we run from fist and kickback. Half court on us down. And from the ball screen to take one advantage. Because nowadays, guys, defense here, and we have open shot.
Steve Vesely definitely more involved at the start of this game. Already has 6 points in the 7 minutes, including that 2-handed flush. And I'm sure his teammates wanted to make it a point to get him involved.
Vesely converting both of his field goals and both of his free throw attempts so far. Starting to fall into place for the Czechs. After 2 tough afternoons on this court. And they've notably tried to go onto the interior more often. 13 of their attempts from 2-point range, only 4 from the perimeter. And the Dutch have taken more 3-point attempts than they have 2-point attempts and not hit a single one. They're 0 of 8 from 3-point range. Balvin hits the second, so it's an 11-point lead for Czech Republic, largest of the game. Leon Williams looking for Franke. Turns and pulls the trigger on a 3. They're now 0 of 9. And the Czechs can really finish the first with a flurry here, looking to stretch the 11-point lead. Balvin looking at his feet, threatening the 3, pirouette into the paint from the big man, but the shot falls short.
Yeah, he was thinking about passing the ball, then last second changed it to a jump shot as Franke, easy 2.
And Franke finally fires on his 3rd field goal attempt.
Well, he looks very comfortable out there as he gets knocked over and draws an offensive foul.
Balvin saying just a case of having the bigger body. The official does not agree.
You'll see Balvin coming down the lane here. And Franke, that's way to take one for the team.
Balvin, the 2'17", sizable center. Plays at both ends of the floor for Yannick Franke. Finding his flow now after that hand injury here at EuroBasket 2022.
Travel.
End of the flow.
Right. Well, good defense as well there. Defense getting set, forcing him to drag his foot.
only played 7.5 minutes on game day 2 after not playing on game day 1. Yannick Franke still put up 9 points in those 7.5 minutes. 3-point shot raises the roof again.
Jelinek gets another 3-pointer for the Czechs, the 3rd one of the game.
He's shooting 46% on the outside in World Cup qualifiers. Hasn't played much here.
Yeah, got
1 of 3 from the field before today. A nice basket for Jesse Edwards.
Jesse Edwards, the Syracuse Orangeman.
Stop and pop. 3-pointer too long this time. And the Czechs still take a double-digit advantage into the first significant break. 24-14, they lead the Netherlands as they continue their pursuit of a first win in Prague.
Coach Ginsburg has to be happy with his team's effort. You see there 71% from 2, and also limiting, well, 71% for the Dutch, I should say, but they haven't hit a single 3 on their 9 attempts. Meanwhile, Czech Republic 3 of 6 from beyond the arc, and 45% overall, also +5 rebounds already. So 24 points, that's great offense, limiting the opposition to 14 points, that's great defense. And they are in a great position here after the first 10 minutes. Also 8 different players for the Czech Republic scoring in that first quarter. So distributing the wealth.
They're led by these 6 points of Jan Vesely on perfect shooting so far after his 0 of 6 game on game day 2. They've had 5 points from Thomas Kislink as well. And the Dutch, well, Brody de Jong, their star of the first 2 games, has struggled here, just 1 of 5 from the field.
See that Yuto Kok tip back dunk. One of the highlights for the Dutch in that first period.
If you haven't already, make sure you download the Courtside 1891 app for all of the live streams, on-demand games, schedules and scores.
So it seems like Coach Biscaglia is happy to put Frank in more for, a couple of minutes here. Seems to have been a minute restriction in that game the other night against Israel as Wojciech missed the 3. Big rebound from Edwards.
But they can try and make it a single-digit margin here. As you see the 5 on the floor for the Netherlands. Nice pass onto the inside from Jesse Edwards.
Well, I'm sure Jim Boeheim loves the fact that Jesse Edwards can make that kind of pass. As you see, Balvin goes right at Edwards for the 2.
Got the roll and the drop, not letting Edwards rest at all. You can't see me, says Andre Balvin. Shouldn't be hard to miss him at 2'17". Williams to Franke. Trying to thread it through a couple of defenders. Ball was kicked. So the margin briefly down to 8 off this basket for Yannick Franke. And then swiftly back up to 10 after the move from Balvin.
Yeah, nice backdoor cut there from Franke. 6 points for him now.
Jesse Edwards passes on to Williams. Then goes onto the interior, switches onto the right and gets the drop on the underarm scoop.
Yeah, finger roll, got a nice bounce, a little bit of contact there as well. Edwards, who did not play in the last game against Israel, looking good here so far.
Balvin back out, Bohacic, touch pass, Jelinek going to take it into the paint. Balvin hoping to pick up the pieces, they block him off on the boards though. And then Leon Williams organising the fast break. 3-point shot, misses for Hammy. It's that man again. Jesse Edwards has come to play.
Yeah, Jesse Edwards already his 5th rebound. He's got 6 points. Again, he's still in college at the moment, so the young man stepping up big here so far.
Only 1 of 5 from the field for 2 points in game 1, and then didn't play at all in game 2.
The IMG Academy product out of Bradenton, Florida. And leads to the timeout from Coach Ginsburg as the lead has been cut down to 6.
The 22-year-old 2 meters 11 center, Jesse Edwards, has helped to close this gap. But Yannick Franke's playing longer minutes as well. 6 points for him, 6 points for Edwards, both to lead the way for the Dutch. And they're back within 6.
Well, you can see why Frank will be playing basketball for PAOK next year in Greece. He's an electric scorer, already 6 points and has an assist. His 9 points the other night came off of 3 3-pointers, yet to knock down a 3 here tonight. But definitely capable of doing so.
Jelinek guarded by the tenacious Franke. Will press it out towards center court and commit the foul.
Yeah, Williams crowding the space here of Senal a little bit too much.
The Dutch have certainly turned up the intensity, though. They see this as their moment to pounce. Such a scrappy, persistent team. Bo Hatchett. And there's another foul, 2 in a row for the Dutch.
Yeah, Hamming trying to fight his way over the screen and makes a little bit too much contact with Bohacik.
The other thing is they're only down 6 and they're 0 of 10 from the outside. Paterka misses one offensive rebound. Jelinek. Fresh 14 for the Czechs. Vesely hands it off. Sent out back out to the perimeter. Jelinek denied by Jesse Edwards, doing a bit of everything here in the second, and on the fast break, Hamming gets fouled.
Well, Hamming showing off the bungees on that one. And again, Edwards with a great block. Franke throwing it up for Hamming. Senal looking to contest. And easy foul call for the referee.
Jesse Edwards adds a block to his 6 rebounds and 5 points on perfect shooting in just 5 minutes.
What a response after getting a DNP coach's decision in your last game. Make an impact on the floor, and the coach has no choice but to play you.
Hamming at the line, a good shooter. Looking to close this gap to 4.
Of course, Hamming, Karazi, and Kuk, all teammates on Heroes Den Bosch in the Dutch League. Also the team of Max Hooney from Finland.
An 8-2 quarter here for the Dutch. Vesely up fake, goes up again, can't stretch enough, tips it, second attempt, good. So Jan Vesely, the 2 meters 13 center. Edwards, and then Worthy de Jong, who's not really got going yet. Around it comes to Williams. They're 0 of 11 from 3-point range, but only trailing by 6 points. Kisling. Vesely grabs the handle on the ball eventually. Thomas Kisling around the frame of Jan Vesely. Spins back to the foul line, takes the shot himself, so smooth and efficient.
Yeah, Kisling, you can see his confidence continuing to grow here as his role expands.
The Czechs looking to hold off the Dutch attempt to the comeback. 3-point shot for Olaf Schaftenar. Rebound Kisling as well, and he's leading the fast break now. Options down the floor. Onto the corner it goes. Schrubank puts the brakes on the 3-point attempt. Back out to Kisling. They'll have to settle in the half court. Vesely looking to show his range over the top of the 2'11" Jesse Edwards.
Great response there from the Czechs after the Dutch cut the deficit to 4. And Vesely, back-to-back field goals for him. 10 points, first player in double figures in the game, and another nice little feed from Kislink, who has 7 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists already. And it's a page out of the Sandoransky book. Get a couple points, but also find your teammates.
We saw those three-point shooting numbers during the timeout. The most accurate team in the tournament over the first 2 games, 44%, 0 of 12 here in the first half of this one. They've not been shy to shoot from long range. 12 attempts in 14 minutes, but nothing going down for the Dutch.
And it is a game of percentages. You expect at least a couple of them to fall, but 0 for 12 is a horrendous start from a shooting standpoint.
Tough to take for the Czechs. A sigh of release for the Dutch. Plenty of pressure, but a foul on Wojtek Hruban.
Well, they're going to stick to this full court man-to-man press. See Hruban just a second too late.
2 fouls each here in the second. Worthy de Jong breaks the press. 3-man is Kloof, caught up with by Hruban. On the burst of Vries. Rushing with a big Matt Harms, who's in the game. Can't get my words out. On the burst of Vries over the hoop.
Yeah, tough shot there.
Peterka back to Hruban. Up against Worthy de Jong. Vesely faced by the 221 Harms. Trying to roll in behind him. Peterka spins and scores. Able to do it inside and out.
Yeah, he hasn't really taken too many shots from the inside, but that time a nice drop step and lefty finish. Kloof going for the steal, gambled, and it ended up hurting the Dutch.
12 ties the largest lead. Kloof on the burst of Vries. He's going to heave the deep 3 with Vesely standing off him.
Well, they finally get one to fall, and it's from way downtown.
Lucky number 13 for the Dutch on those 3-point attempts.
Here you see again the Peterka finish inside, and Van der Verste Vries a couple steps behind that 3-point line, lines up and knocks it down.
So midway point of the second, it's back to a single-digit margin. As Kislink gets set to inbound.
Referees just sorting out the shot clock.
Bohacic to Kislink to Vesely. Waited for Harms to greet him and was happy to finish despite the body-to-body contact.
Well, Vesely seems very much locked in here today. Already 5 of 6.
12 points in 9 minutes for Vesely. Kloof Kloof, Harms rolls in behind, and Vesely kicked it.
Again, Kisling finding Vesely. Fades away from Harms. Can't contest that one.
So mobile for a 2 meters 13 center Jan Vesely. De Jong to Harms. He'll take it over the top of Vesely from the stripe. Too long.
Yeah, Harms has taken a couple of jump shots throughout the tournament, but much more effective around the basket.
Peterka feeding it. And a foul on the floor as Bohatchik got pulled back.
Yeah, you see De Jong mashed up inside there with Bohatchik. Arms get tangled.
With De Jong just 2 points so far.
He got the first 2 of the game off the opening tip and has been blanked since.
4 straight misses. Bohatchik. Rebound Harms. Four minutes until half-time. The Dutch down by 11. Hamming. Van der Verst de Vries wants it and gets it. Wants to attack. Peterka looking back out towards Worthy de Jong. The passing lane blocked off and in transition. Ruban lost it on his way through.
Great recovery by Hamming.
Kloof to Van der Verst de Vries. Vesely long enough to stop the 3, but the pass inside. And Matt Harms with the hammer.
Well, good recovery there by Holland. As Van der Verst de Vries, after the turnover, picks up the assist. Again, he's got to be a little bit more, a little sharper with his passing. As Herban all the way to the basket.
Ruban emoting. His second field goal. Worthy de Jong lost it. A tough evening continues for him. And the Czechs pour forward again. Peterka with the pressure palpable in Prague. The Czechs rise to the challenge.
Peterka loves that right wing, tends to spot up whether it's in the half court or in transition. And now the lead is back up to 14.
Largest of the game.
Well, you see Van der Verst de Vries inside to Harms for the two-handed dunk. And then Peterka, who just always seems to contribute when he's on the floor. 8 points here in 12 minutes for the big man. He's listed as a center, but needs to be a shooting center position for that guy.
8 points in 12 minutes for Peterka. 14 the lead for Czech Republic. Kloof working with Harms, who rolls inside. Kloof prodding, probing, passing, but getting blocked off.
I'm telling you, Kisling is a difference maker for this Czech team. He's got 7 points. That's his first steal. Already 6 assists and 4 rebounds for Kisling. And just very much under control as well. No turnovers for the point guard.
And they're plus 17 when he's on the floor. Kisling again. This time he'll take the long 2 and hits as well.
Well, I love feeling vindicated because we are singing his praises and he is knocking down shots to prove why.
16 now the largest lead. 2 minutes of the first half to play. Kloof going through the gears, running into traffic, turning it over. Vesely saying, calm down, let's do this in the half court and stretch the advantage.
Netherlands need more ball movement on offense.
Kloof working hard to try and take it back. Almost hurting his back as he slides off the sideline.
Good hustle there by Kloof. And see Kisling, the pull-up jumper. Largest lead of the game, 16 points now. Czech Republic feeling very good about their play. 50% from the field.
We said though that the Dutch would scrap, not make life easy for the Czechs, never write them off. They seem to find a way so often of making games close. Bo Hatchet. Offensive rebound, fresh 14 as Vesely bounces the sideline. Bo Hatchet working again with Vesely. To the far side it goes, Kisling. Vesely on the turnaround fadeaway with a hand in his face from the 2:21 halves.
Well, he's had a nice little touch here from the mid-range tonight. It's not just dunks and layups. Vesely doing it all kind of ways.
18 the lead. Franca needs to fire, misses. Almost got to his own rebound, but in transition, Ruban. And it's going to be a goaltend. The points count for the Czechs, and the lead continues to grow.
And again, another assist for Kisling as Herban leaked out ahead and quickly got the ball up on the backboard. Klug, good hustle to contest. It's a fraction of a second too late.
The lead for the Czech Republic here in Prague. Well on their way towards a first EuroBasket win. They want to close out this first half.
Well, Klug just 1 of 5 from the field. And the shooting woes continue for the Dutch, 10 of 30.
1 of 14 from 3. Krejci to Vesely. Krejci around Vesely. Bo Hatchet, shot clock down to the final 3. Shake off three-point shot, doesn't go. Harms the rebound.
Final possession here for the Dutch. They want to hold it down to 1 shot.
Shot clock turned off. Now try and at least take it beneath 20. Van der Verst de Vries. Foul on Vesely. That was the last to give for the Czechs. 6.7 on the clock. First on Vesely. He does have the quick hands on defense for a big man.
An offensive foul called on Van der Verst de Vries. From bad to worse as he tried to fool the referee into a foul, and instead it's called for an offensive. And you see De Jong, the captain, gonna need a lot more from him in that second half. Again, Kisling has been so active, 9 points, 8 assists in the first half. Can't get a much better performance. Trying to fill the shoes of the legend Thomas Satoransky. Look at that stat line in the first 20 minutes. Especially with the 2 fouls from Krejci, they've needed that even more.
Just 68 points for Czech Republic in their last game. 47 and a half here, a chance to add 3 more. Peterka, he's money. Another 3. The Czechs are recharged and red hot. Hit the half-century mark at the half.
Well, the timeout, they drew up the play in the huddle. Krejci, drive and kick, set up for your shooter Peterka. No one even close. Nothing but the bottom of the net. And that's already his 3rd three-pointer of the night. Double figures now for Peterka.
Satoransky celebrates, and so too do thousands of fans in Prague. Half-time, Czech Republic 50, Netherlands 27.
Well, the Czechs were plus 10 in the first quarter, even better in the second quarter, plus 13 to build this 23-point lead. You see the shooting numbers, 51% overall. They knocked down 5 3-pointers. Most importantly, they hold the Netherlands to 1 of 14 from 3, 7% three-point shooting, plus 9 on the boards, 13 assists on 21 field goals. And Vesely leads all scorers with 14. Peterka joins him in double figures with 11. Meanwhile, the Netherlands, it's Yannick Franke and Jesse Edwards leading the way with 6 points apiece.
Fantastic first half for the hosts at the O2 Arena. A 23-point halftime lead, and doing it without Tomasz Satoransky. Notably attacking on the interior to set the tone, before later turning their attention to the perimeter. And the Dutch out to 14 in the first, 13 in the second. The Czechs have poured in the points, 24 in the first, 26 in the second, led by the 14 of Jan Vesely. Backed up by 11 from Martin Peterka and 9 from Tomasz Kisling.
Netherlands really struggling, especially with their go-to scorer, De Jong. Just 2 points so far on 1 of 5 from the field. So where's the scoring going to come from if it's not going to be De Jong? Yannick Franke trying to pick up the pieces, did have those 6 points in just 9 minutes, but they need a lot more firepower. And guys like Tomasz Kisling are having the games of their lives in a Czech uniform.
Is the link. One Tomasz missing, the other Tomasz is stepping up. 9 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists without a single turnover for Tomasz Kisling in Satoransky's absence. And the Dutch throwing up bricks from deep. Both Franke and De Jong 0 of 3 on the outside. The team just 1 of 14. They need to light it up from long range now, you feel, if they are to stand a chance of the comeback. At half-time, it's the Czech Republic 50, Netherlands 27 here in Prague.
Tak Martine, díky moc za krásný poštěpně, protože je tady na řadě další pán na holení, úplně stejný úkol, viděl jsem, co se tady děje, tak je to teď už jenom na tobě. Vám si tě zase připraví, nastartuje, postavíme kuželky a jdeme na to.
And it goes, and Brabat with the two-handed flush.
Beautiful baseline backdoor cut. Great delivery and finish.
Well, put the magic down. Lorenzo Brown going all the way. Lorenzo Brown says buenos noches.
They switch.
Beautiful handoff. And Tice crushes it.
Wagner dishing it in the paint. Outstanding finish.
Down the middle, kicks out to Mamu. Mamu down the middle. Mamu hangs in the air, ties the game up. Mamu Karashvili, Superman, has responded, and he says, let's go.
Now Musa has it taken away by Dragic. And Dragic, sensational!
Finishing is a skill. The body control, the touch. Goran Dragic is an outstanding below-the-rim finisher.
And brings it up, and he explodes, and Wagner just protects that rim and says, not in my house.
Perry with no regard for the Bulgarian defense. I mean, my goodness gracious.
Your favorite team.
Oh, what a pass from Hertel to Poirier.
Between the legs, pocket pass, Hertel flashing some skill. Look at that pass.
Wow. Toby. The brilliance of Doncic. He's so brilliant that he's phoned out of his shoe.
Again, Doncic drives into the paint, draws the defense, and the late delivery, a behind the head, no-look pass, on time, on target to Toby for a rhythm shot.
Locking now, curls one screen, pick and pop by Shankton, and he rips the ring down, silencing this arena.
This boy, he's no longer a boy. This young man is just awesome. Straight down the middle, elevates and dunks it two-handed.
Welcome back to the O2 Arena in Prague as we take a check at halftime on the top scorers for the two teams. Yannick Franke, 6 points for the Dutch. Jesse Edwards also has 6 for them. Franke playing 9 minutes, his longest minutes already in this tournament so far. He's hit both of his field goal attempts on the inside, but he's 0 of 3 on the perimeter, where the team are just 1 of 14. Having arrived as the most accurate three-point shooting team in EuroBasket over the first 2 games. The Netherlands need to unload all of their offensive firepower in the second half if they are to produce a comeback. Down 23. We know that they will always continue to scrap and close the gap on Serbia, down to 5 in the third quarter, but they need to find their range on the perimeter. The top scorer in this ball game at halftime, Jan Vesely. What a response from him. Just 2 points on 0 of 6 field goal shooting in the last game. He's 6 of 7 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line for 14 points in as many minutes so far here. 5 rebounds, including 2 on the Dutch backboard. And one of 2 scorers in double figures for them, along with the three-point shooter, Martin Peterka. The big 1-2 punch combination for the Czechs.
Well, Vesely just so active, whether it's diving to the basket for dunks like that and also getting offensive rebounds on his own misses. But he's also hit a couple of turnaround fadeaways, displaying that shooting touch, which was not really present early on in his career. And his teammates doing a great job of finding him, setting him up. So Vesely clearly regaining his confidence after a tough game against Serbia.
Determined to make the most of his place on the national team after missing the World Cup in 2019. Jan Vesely, one of this nation's most talented basketball players, bringing his best in the absence of another Tomasz Satoransky, who's not able to take part.
You could tell this Czech team also has just, felt the momentum from the fans. You can see the stat leaders, Kislink, 8 points, 8 assists and 5 rebounds to go with his 9 points. But They've gotten a lot of momentum-building plays, whether it's the three at the buzzer from Peterka, a couple of dunks, obviously, and just everyone's playing well. Everyone's stepping up.
Satoransky, the man who usually sews this team together, but in the first half of this one, it's been the other Tomasz Kislink. Triple-double watch.
Absolutely. He's also a highlight waiting to happen. Remember, he had a great dunk against Serbia. No Patrick Auda so far in this game. For the Czechs and the Netherlands. Jesse Edwards, my player of the game so far for them. 6 points, 6 rebounds in just 7 minutes. And then as well, not a nice block, a couple nice finishes around the rim. Very active himself.
Edwards having a coming-of-age EuroBasket performance. Didn't even play in the second game after only hitting one of his 5 shots in the first game. 3 of 3 for 6 points so far here.
Yeah, he really stepped up at Syracuse in the first couple years. Didn't play too many minutes, didn't score too many points, but this year averaged about 25+ minutes a game and then double figures in scoring. So Jesse Edwards definitely on his way up.
His campaign actually ended in February when he broke his left wrist. Didn't play a game, but he's finding his flow now and earning minutes and building his reputation at EuroBasket. Rudy de Jong, we already know about his reputation. And Karazi we've not seen much of so far. He's played only 7 minutes. Scored just the 1 point from the foul line. That's up to 10 points, 6 rebounds and 2 assists against Israel in game 2. So many players for the Dutch who can step up to try and close this gap. In particular, their 3-point shooters. Rudy de Jong was 6 of 8 on the outside against Serbia and reached his 28 points. And also had 12 points against Israel, as well as contributing in a number of other categories. But so far here, in 14 minutes played, he's only got the 2 points.
If they're zone, we know what we're doing. We start, it doesn't matter what they are, we start with motion, okay? That we play pick and roll with small teams. Right? Behind you come, if you are the guy who plays the pick and roll, okay? If has to point to your goal, run,
Running Ginsberg has been around for a long time. He's been on the Czech bench since 2013. He's taking charge of his 3rd EuroBasket, as well as leading them at the 2019 World Cup. He knows this is far from finished, but his team have a huge platform from which to build, up 23 as we get set to start the second half here in Prague. Do make sure you download the EuroBasket app and get all of the stories and stats and the big highlights.
So a couple adjustments to the starting lineup here from the Dutch team as Franca and Jesse Edwards both start, as well as Leon Williams. You see working the young, struggling here thus far. So Van der Verst, De Vries, and Kloof on the bench at the start of the 3rd quarter.
Leon Williams, the 31-year-old point guard who's played at EuroBasket 2015, now Rudy de Jong. Jesse Edwards wants to take it towards Vesely, looking to spin towards the baseline and finishes over the top of Jan Vesely.
Edwards
4 of 4 for 8 points.
Still playing very, very well.
He's only played 7 minutes. Offensive foul on Krish, so the perfect start so far to the 3rd quarter for the Dutch. shoulder to the face of Yannick Franke. Strong move at the other end for the 22-year-old against the former EuroLeague MVP. Third foul on Krish. There's another foul on the Czechs, this one on Hruban.
I'm sure Dutch fans holding their breath every time they see Yannick Franke get knocked down to the ground. You see there, lost the ball momentarily, got tripped up, kind of bailed out by Hruban.
Second on Hruban, too quickly on the Czechs in the opening 45 seconds of the second half.
Another illegal screen, this time Karadzi. So a couple sloppy screens here set in the third quarter. Hruban trying to lock and trail and draws a foul.
That was the 7th turnover for Netherlands. The Czechs have only turned it over 4 times. Sent out. Vesely looking back from the baseline. In transition, De Jong. Into the paint, looking far side. Franke, so much time to think about it. And he knocks it down.
Yeah, usually that's a little bit too open, but really, really thought about it. Had a sip of coffee.
1 of 14 on the outside in the first half. They hit their first 3-point attempt in the second. Hruban with a whistle.
Well, it seemed like he stepped out of bounds before coming on, and Krish will head to the bench, replaced by Peterka. As we take a look at Frank knocking down the three-pointer in that last possession, and it's a quick 5-0 run here for the Dutch, and a chance to add to it.
He's now their top scorer with 9 points. That was his first 3 on his 4th attempt. Williams all the way out. Franke again, not this time. Big offensive ball though, Jesse Edwards, fresh 14. Karadzi, momentum building for the Dutch. Franke starting to feel it. Hruban was all over him to ensure the miss, and Vesely leading the fast break, fouled by Williams.
Well, the take foul by Williams in transition to slow things down. You see Franke driving hard to the baseline, but couldn't quite get the angle for the finish. Good defense from Hruban. And there, Vesely pushing the tempo.
Kisling, one of the Czechs' 2 standout stars in the first half, along with Vesely, misses the shot here though. 4 of 7 from the field now, Kisling. Franke taking all the shots for the Dutch. He'll go to the line for 2.
Franke on the pick and roll as we get a timeout on the floor. Coach Ginsberg not liking the way things are starting. You see here, Frank gets into the lane, feels the contact, goes to the left. Couldn't quite get the roll for the and one. So you can see the disappointment. Ginsberg, team worked so hard to build the lead. Let's listen in.
On offense, we play 4. Okay? Play 4. Right? Come on, let's be focused. Come on.
We'll be discussing how to deal with Yannick Franke, who's only played 10 minutes, drawn 5 fouls now, and he's got 9 points. Hruban with a score here, but he's just picked up 2 fouls in quick succession to take him to 3 personal in the game. Up by 23 at the half, cut to 18 here after a half-century of points in the first 20 minutes. They've started the third quarter with a 2-minute-plus drought. Yannick Franke can try and close the gap further, but misses the first free throw.
Wow, surprising.
Normally an excellent shooter from all distances and angles, Yannick Franke. Hit his first 2 free throws in this game. This is 2 in a row. Senel. Forcing his way past Franke for the finish. Rubbing salt in Franke's wounds. Karazi, lead back to 19. Karazi, his Kisling foul. Open man on the perimeter is Worthy de Jong. He needed that one, they needed that one, and he provided it.
We know the Dutch are not going to go down easily, especially de Jong.
More threes in the first 3 minutes of this third quarter than in the whole of the first half for the Dutch. That's their second since half-time. Vesely dropped off beautifully by Senel, and Vesely fouled.
Yeah, great pass indeed from Senel, 2-man game. Vesely attacks the basket. Edwards seemed like he got a clean block himself. Maybe not. And de Jong definitely hacked him. You see it on the last possession, Senel gets all the way to the basket for the lefty finish.
Vesely at the stripe. Well, he's improved immensely over the last few years. There's a big Achilles heel in his game for so long. He's 4 of 4 here. 16 points to lead all scorers. De Jong. 19 the lead. Franke. Edwards gives it in back, rolls inside, trying to get in behind, and Vesely was having none of it.
Yeah, you got to know Vesely can anticipate that pass.
And Jesse Edwards, long and athletic, but so too Jan Vesely. It's the veteran who gets the better of the youngster. Shot clock to 3 here. Williams, he's going to take it deep over the top of Peterka and gives him a taste of his own medicine at the buzzer.
Yeah, big time shot there from Williams. Bit of a Hail Mary.
3 threes in the third after just 1 in the whole of the first half for Netherlands. Bohancic looks back out. Peterka, as ever, has the answers on the perimeter.
Well, he has the shooting touch here at home in Prague. Shooting better than 75% from 3 in the tournament.
Williams. There's Edwards attacking Vesely again, and a foul this time.
Well, Edwards and Vesely have been going at it a little bit here this quarter. And this time Edwards coming out on top, drawing the foul. Nearly the end one as Vesely gets a nice ovation from the crowd. You see again that Williams 3-pointer. And then the answer from Peterka. 4 of 5 from the great beyond. 14 points for the big man.
Only behind Jan Vesely, 16 for the Czechs so far. Edwards a chance to hit double figures on the kind roll around. He's got 9 now, 7 rebounds as well. He's not missed a shot from the field or from the foul line. A perfect 10.
And such a long arms as well for Edwards, and athletic, really growing into his own here.
17. The Dutch refuse to go away. Senel turns it over to Franke in the passing lane. And a foul on Senel. And the Czechs are at the limit.
Oh, you see Frank kind of grabbing his hand a little bit. And that's, yeah, right there, got tangled and hit right on that right hand. And free throws already for the Dutch.
Missed the first game, Yannick Franke, with a broken hand. Only played 7.5 minutes in game 2. He's played 13 minutes already here. Wincing in pain and shoots the free throws.
Well, it seems like that minute restriction has somewhat been lifted Desperate times.
Well, this is the must-win game for these two nations. After losing their first two, Franca taking on the responsibility, injured, and answering the call. 11 points in 13 minutes. Now he goes to the bench to check on that hand. From 23 down, the Dutch are within 15. Bohatchik bringing the ball over centre court for Czech Republic, guarded by Williams. Kisling twisting and turning around the big body of Balvin, losing the ball and turning it over though. Kisling, who had 8 assists at half-time, that's his first turnover.
Yeah, probably his first mistake of the game here.
The Czechs have had as many turnovers in this quarter as in the whole of the first half, and Worthy de Jong has finally found his range, and the Dutch are looking for a big comeback.
Yeah, don't let him start heating up. Back-to-back threes for de Jong. Back to 12.
Balvin looking to bully his way to the basket, called for an offensive foul. Too physical, perhaps too frustrated.
Well, watch the elbow kind of come up right there. Elbow, shoulder, used to create spaces. See de Jong on the catch and shoot. Such a smooth release on the jumper. And Netherlands plus 11 here in the first 5 minutes of the third quarter.
They're 4 of 5 from three-point range in this quarter, after going 1 of 14 in the first half. 23 has become 12. And they can continue to chip away at that once sizable deficit. De Jong's hit 2 of those threes. This time goes onto the interior. Tries to pass down the baseline as he's confronted by 2 and goes down her. Competition at the end of this tournament. He'll play 3-on-3 to win Olympic gold next summer. De Jong for 3 again. A hat-trick of threes for Worthy de Jong in the third.
Oh, that right wing has been friendly to him, and seems like the shoulder, the chest, it's all good to go.
0 of 3 in the first half, 3 of 3 in the third quarter.
That's near steal.
Krejci moving it on. 3-point shot. Bohatchik can't answer back. Jesse Edwards rips down the rebound. Williams leading the fast break, looking to go coast to coast, forced away by Bohatchik. Van der Vries de Vries.
And it's single digits.
The Dutch with the bit between their teeth. De Jong behind the back into the lane, looking far side. Williams for 3. Misses it.
That would have made these fans even more nervous.
From 23 down, they're within 9. This is what happened against Serbia when they got as close as 5. Balvin and Worthy de Jong tangling on the perimeter.
De Jong trying to fight through those screens. Referees wanted to call a flop. You see there, off the ball screen, shot clock winding down. De Jong steps right into it.
Bohatchik up against Williams. Vesely rolls inside, it goes to the corner instead. 5 to shoot here. Krejci past de Jong. Inside towards Vesely, tipped away. No shot clock violation.
Well, Krejci has been silent here tonight. 0 points, 2 assists. Obviously picked up those 2 early fouls, so hasn't been able to find his rhythm.
2 key components of the comeback for the Dutch. 5 threes in this quarter, but also the Czechs only had 4 turnovers at half time. They've had 6 in 7 minutes here in the second half. De Jong, Williams. They'll try and close the 9-point gap. 3-point shot from the celebrating Kaya van der Verst de Vries from 23 down. The Dutch are within 6.
Well, what a turnaround we've had here. A nice pass from Schaftenaar, van der Verst de Vries, who has a nice shooting touch. And it is silent here at the O2 Arena in Prague.
And it's raining threes for the Netherlands. 6 in this quarter.
On offense, let's play now the fourth side with Michi. Okay? Live, let's go. Come on. Come on. 1, 2, 3.
Well, the Dutch were dying by the 3-point shot in the first half. Are alive and well because of it in the second.
Well, De Jong got things going off early. First second of the game gets 2 points. But it's been all from the outside here in the third quarter. And this team feeds off of his energy and his confidence.
Scored in the opening seconds of the game. Didn't score again in the first half, and now 3 threes here in the third.
And the Czechs are already using 2 of their 3 timeouts here of the second half to try to slow down this run. So let's keep our eye on that as well.
Bohatchik, head down to the basket all the way through, and then emotes.
Strong take and finish there from Bohatchik.
Only his second field goal on his 7th attempt. 8 the lead as the Czechs look to repel the Dutch comeback. First points in around 3.5 minutes for the hosts. Twisting and turning and getting the shooter's roll, the veteran Roland Schaftenaar.
Yeah, nice jump hook. Spun a couple times, seemed a bit indecisive. Made the right call in the end.
So 6 the gap again. Jelinek. Vesely coming out. Jelinek trying to get away from De Jong. Finding Vesely. Long 2 for him. He's hitting pretty much everything this afternoon.
Yeah, we haven't called his name too much here in the second half. He's got 18 points now. We go with the 6 rebounds. Timely basket.
Shot. 8 the lead again. Final minute and a half of the third quarter. Van der Verst de Vries going through the gears, turning on the afterburners and scoring. And the Dutch have scored more points this quarter than in the whole of the first half.
Yeah, incredible run offensively here.
28 here in the third. Lovely pass from Vesely, but it doesn't lead to the score. Van der Verst de Vries, they can get even closer. Down 6, the number 6, De Jong, directing traffic. Approaching the final minutes of the third quarter. De Jong against Vesely. Takes the 3, and Vesely gets a piece of it. It leads to the transition. Jelinek through, and the layup good, despite the chase-back attempt from De Jong.
Yeah, De Jong thought he had that one.
Vesely coming up with big plays at both ends of the floor as well, and De Jong right back at the bigs of the Czechs, and Peterka took a hit to the face, safe on the sideline though, and into the bench goes Jelinek to ignite the fast break. Bohatchik on the trail, Peterka doesn't miss from there. Bring the noise here in Prague.
Well, he's been the one to really answer the call every time that they needed a big shot. He's knocked down 5 of them here tonight.
5 of 6 on the outside for Peterka. No, 3 in the paint. He'll have to earn them from the strike rule in Schaftenau after the breakdown on defense.
Netherlands 9 of 13 from the field here in the third quarter. You can see the great pass from Van der Vries de Vries to Schaftenau. I'm not even sure he was ready for it.
3.9 left after these free throws. The Czechs back up by double figures after the Dutch had closed a 23-point deficit to 6.
Well, we're in for a thrilling fourth quarter of action, given this Dutch response. Will they run out of gas, perhaps? Will they continue the momentum? The Youngs played the entire third quarter here so far, 23 minutes in total.
They've only gone up a gear in the third quarter. And if Schaftenau can hit this one, it would be a 30-point third quarter for the Netherlands. And he does.
A turnover. Find De Jong.
Time for De Jong. Not time for the extra pass, though.
Ooh. Won't count.
A grimace of frustration etched on the face of De Jong. The Dutch didn't do much wrong in that third quarter. Got as close as 6 points, but trail by 9 with 10 minutes to play.
It's first of all. Second, again, they start a little bit ice, okay, like a week.
Press and ball back if you want. So he needs to really just move the ball and more. You lead. I want the ball Peterka, no Vesely. Peterka. If you are like this, you lead. Okay? So you want it, and you lead.
We'll see plenty of them on these highlights, the three-point shots from the Netherlands. After just 1 of 14 in the first half, 6 of 9 as a team in the third quarter, 3 of them from Worthy de Jong. Williams contributing as well. They have fired their way back into contention. But the Czechs have so far repelled the comeback. Martin Peterka, their big weapon on the perimeter.
Yeah, Peterka and Vesely duking it out for the player of the game for the Czechs. I feel like Peterka's baskets have just been so clutch every single time. And Vesely obviously doing his damage closer to the basket.
18 points with just 1 miss, along with 6 rebounds for Vesely, 17 points with just 1 miss for Peterka, including 5 threes. And the Dutch now with 3 scorers in double figures, 11 each for Franke and De Jong, and 10 for Jesse Edwards, the young centre. A 9-point Czech lead and the ball with 10 minutes to play. Kisling. Jelinek to Vesely. Still Czech possession, much to Karazi's frustration. Vesely handing it off to Kisling. You see the 5 on the floor for the Czechs. Kisling for 3. Vesely couldn't reach the rebound.
Yeah, good box out there from Karazi.
Well, he's hit one from there already, not this time though for Van der Vries de Vries. Bohacic behind the back. A helping hand from Vesely with the screen. Kisling. Forced back out, poked away. Still Czech possession, 7 to shoot.
No Charlotte Kloof so far in the second half of the Netherlands, so Coach Buscaglia making that adjustment. See Kisling running into Karazi, who poked it away.
Final seconds on the shot clock. Peterka gets down the baseline. Nobody to pass to though. Peterka knew the shot clock was about to expire, flipped it up but missed. De Jong to Franke. slow it down and work in the half court. And it goes to De Jong. And two big weapons in the backcourt. Franke dances past Peterka. Karazi back out. Von der Verst de Vries. Two misses in a row on the outside for him. No change to the score so far here in the fourth. Jelinek, long two. Gives the Czechs a double-digit lead again. Franke. He gets fouled as he puts it up. Really starting to get back into the groove, Yannick Franke. 7th foul drawn today.
Jelinek jump shot. Again, the Czechs want to keep it around this 10-11 point mark as much as possible. And if you're the Dutch, you want to get it below 5 with 5 minutes to go to give yourself a chance.
Franke doing well on that foul to put up the shot. Make sure it was a foul in the act. And he makes them both this time, having missed a couple before. 6 of 8 altogether. The team of 14 of 18 for 78%. 9 the lead again. Kruban. Back out. Jelinek. A three this time. David Jelinek's time to shine in the capital.
He's now in double figures with 10. His second three-pointer. A little bit more breathing space.
Karazi, guarded by Jelinek. Little push shot falls for Rulin Shaftanar. Working on the baseline as Vesely was attracted to the help defense. Jelinek, another one, and an airball.
Yeah, not sure about that one. Seemed like the defense was right in front of him.
Sucks the wind out of his sails. Karazi did well to reach it and reel it in. And to find a teammate as they work it around the perimeter. Franke. Yannick Franke fires again and the Dutch refuse to die.
Some great ball movement there. Ball goes inside, out, and around the horn, finding their shooter. Back to 7.
A 7-point game with 7 minutes still to play. Kruban, and number 7 for the Czechs responds. Von der Verst de Vries. A whistle on the play here.
Shot clock now functioning.
You know, we've had so many big leads in this group. We haven't had a single game that's been dead prior to the fourth quarter.
That's a great point.
Even the Dutch against Serbia, when they lost big in the end, were still in it with sort of 5-6 minutes to play.
Yeah, maybe Finland, Poland was that one game where Finland just shot the lights out. The second half, you see the Jelinek 3, and then here's a great ball movement from the Dutch, finding Franke, who now has 16 points in 16 minutes. So, seems to be feeling much better.
This Dutch team specialises in clinging on to the opposition and refusing to let them get away. Even with just a 27-point first half here and down 23, they have very much made it game on again.
Rotation. Jesse, come on the floor, and now they play smaller without on the spot to fight. Red to fight. Red to fight. Red to fight. No blue. Red to fight to stay. Red to fight to switch. Red to fight to slip down. You slow. Sit down in front of the pin. And rotation. And the guys. Everything. Red to fight. Come on. Hey, I need you to lock it. I need you to lock it. Hey, listen.
So a 9-point lead, 6.5 to go. As you see a couple of the highlights for Yannick Franke. And we anticipate the young to come back into the fray very shortly here. They're catching a bit of a rest. With Frank 4-9 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. Again, he was their leading scorer throughout the qualifiers. And he's their leading scorer here tonight.
16 points in as many minutes on court. 9 the deficit for the Dutch. Van der Verst de Vries. Edwards wanted it on the interior, doesn't get it. Franke instead with the hot hand, takes the 3, gliding and finishing and heaping the pressure back on in Prague.
The Czech have had a response every time it's come down to this point. They couldn't get it below 6. But a turnover.
Well, the Franke 3 made it a 6-point game, and now the Dutch have the ball back again. Franke said he needs his teammates locked in. He is certainly locked and loaded. So 7 turnovers for the Netherlands. That's been their big problem the first 2 games, committing so many, 15.5 a game. Van der Verst de Vries. They'll try and get as close as they've been in an eternity. Karazi. Vesely rips down the rebound. His 7th. Little gap opens up for the place to the basket, but a miss and a push on Vesely.
Vesely picks up his 3rd. And now another chance to cut it down to 4 or even make it a 1-possession game with a 3.
Vesely and Ruban on 3 fouls. Nobody else in the game on more than 2. 5.5 to play. Franke.
Nice pass.
Lovely pass to Karazi, and this is as close as the Dutch have been in a long, long time, from 23 down.
And remember, the Czechs only have 1 timeout remaining for the rest of this game.
Well, this is close to being the tournament for these 2 teams. This last 5 minutes, both 0-2 here in Group D. The foul on Van der Verst de Vries on a mismatch with Vesely.
That's that great pass off the dribble, whipping it in to Karazi. Pick and roll, beautifully executed.
Franke now pulling the trigger and pulling the strings. The Dutch back within 4. Ruban.
Two quick fouls in succession here on the Dutch. See Kloof trying to get around the screen, gets called for the pull.
He's not been playing in this comeback attempt, Charlon Kloof.
So 5-minute mark, we said it needed to be under 5 points for the Dutch to really feel like they had a chance, and they did exactly that. 4-point game.
Turnaround, 3-point shot, halfway down, back out for Kislink. Offensive rebound though, and a fresh 14. Andre Senau working with Vesely, who moves inside. Back out, Peterka, the up fake. Stuck to like glue by Karazi. Vesely got a bit of breathing room though to shoot over the top of Jesse Edwards. And Vesely hits 20 on just 1 miss.
Well, the second chance opportunity pays off there for the Czechs. See Franke putting so much pressure on the defense. And Peterka, the nice pass to Vesely, who continues his great night. 8 of 9 from the field for 20 points.
We just had the 4th personal foul on Wojtek Ruban, the Czech captain. Yannick Franke not phased by the whistles and the jeers at the O2 Arena. And 7 of 9 at the line, and he's just hit 20 points as well. Now the top scorer in the game with 21 points in 18 minutes. A 4-point game, 4.5 to play. A few nerves jangling in the Czech capital now. Vesely to the far side. Kisling goes baseline. Wants to attack, gets confronted by Edwards, who's frustrated at the foul.
Well, Kisling with an aggressive drive. Not sure he had the angle to finish it. Edwards tried to go straight up, call him on the arm.
Edwards 1 rebound away from a double-double in 15 minutes on court. 10 points, 9 rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds. It's his 3rd foul.
Big nice, big miss. De Jong still on the bench for the Dutch.
First trip to the line for Tomasz Kisling, who could do no wrong in the first half, but he's not added a point, an assist, or a rebound so far in the second half.
Oh, that is a tough break. Free throw violation.
Kisling 9 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 offensive rebounds at half time. Gets a take 2 to try and add to his tally here.
He did come in as a 40% free throw shooter in the tournament.
5 the lead, 4 and a bit minutes to play. Kloof. Von der Vries. Frank is the go-to guy. Von der Vries, they bypass Edwards. It's Franke, 4-3. Not this time.
Halfway down. Wow. And again, I feel like they're kind of bailing out the Czechs by not having De Jong and Frank on the court at the same time. Oh, the slip from Edwards.
Vesely had to fly over a body to finish. Made sure of the points. 22 on 9 of 10 shooting. The Czechs by 7. A little bit of breathing room now. 3.5 to play. Franke running into the big frame of Vesely and a foul. If you're going to foul, make sure your opponent can't score, and Vesely certainly did that.
Well, here comes Worthy De Jong to the scores table now.
It is, however, Vesely's 4th foul. So he's walking the disciplinary tightrope. 5 fouls the limit here in European basketball. And the Czechs' 4th team foul as well. So any more fouls from their defense will send the Dutch to the strike.
Should mention that De Jong has been favoring that thigh area on his right leg.
Franke now 9 of 11. He's taken more than half the Netherlands' free throw attempts. Vesely just surpassed him as the game's top scorer. Now they're level as Franke misses the second. 22 each. These fans trying to get behind their team.
Oh, big steal.
But they turn it over. 3 minutes to play. This one's going to go down to the wire. The Czechs win it back. In behind, Bohacic. Called for a travel with the defender flying up and basically landing on top of him.
Well, Karazi not giving up on the play, and a fortunate turn of events there as you see the great slip from Bohacic. Pump fakes. Oh, he did take a couple extra steps before the dribble. Was Karazi fortunate to not be injured on the play. So again, just a 2-possession game here. You see the play there, Vesely jumping over Edwards. Don't see that every day.
The Czechs only had 4 turnovers in the first half. That was their 10th of the second half. And it gives the Dutch a chance to close the gap. They apply the pressure, but back off De Jong. 3 minutes to play. A 6-point game. Leon Williams. 5 assists without a turnover in the game for him. Gets it back from Karazi and shoots over the top of Vesely.
Wow.
And a tip that's good for Worthy.
No one boxes out the shooting guard and times it beautifully.
Retiring after this tournament, but he's still got springs in his sneakers. Worthy De Jong. The 34-year-old. And it's a 4-point game.
Oh, it seemed like the ball went out of bounds.
Stumble, saved, no whistle. Shot clock ticking though. And Edwards, sticking to his opponent, wanted the clean rejection, instead it's a foul.
We see Senal gets around him. Tough call. Seemed like his momentum was kind of taking him out of bounds regardless, but a little bit of contact despite the clean swipe.
Big foul shots for Andre Senal. Can Ronan Ginsberg's team hold the Dutch at arm's length? Just the one of two. A 5-point game, 2 minutes and change to play. These fans will try and draw their team over the finish line. Karazi to Franca, into the paint, pass deflected out of bounds, 4.7 on the shot clock.
The defense definitely picking up here in the last few minutes. Nothing coming easy for either side. Oh, catch and shoot.
Franca misses, and this time they protect the backboard. Paterka, nice pass out as well.
They've had a couple good looks here in the last few possessions.
They'll slow it down, approaching the final minute and a half. Looking to make it a 3-possession lead. Vesely lost it on his way up. Turnover number 11 of the second half for the Czechs. De Jong swings it in, risky pass, blocked off. Pieces picked up though, and they'll go again. Still 10 to shoot. Franca, Karazi. Spins baseline, creates a bit of room, uses his body really well. And he makes this a 3-point game with a minute to play. Only the second field goal for Karazi. It's come in timely fashion. Edge of your seat stuff in the Czech capital.
Ooh, a lot of contact inside.
The basket doesn't count for Senal. And a foul on Karazi, bulldozing Vesely down to the hardwood. And that takes the Dutch to the limit. So some crucial foul shots for Jan Vesely to come. After that big shot from Karazi made it a 1-possession game.
Well, the referees are going to go to the video referee replay here to determine whether there was some extracurricular activity on that foul.
Okay, we are here for the possible update from personal to non-sportsmanlike foul. Let's gonna have a main camera, normal speed. Normal speed. Contact on number 9.
So the contact between Karazi, Williams, and Vesely there in the middle of the lane. I think they get Karazi with a shoulder check. And that might not pan out too well for the Dutch here in the last minute of a 1-possession game.
First contact. Okay, bump. Normal but technical reaction on the other player. Because for me, there is no issue for the unsportsmanlike foul. It's only a normal foul.
That would be a tough break for the Netherlands if they end up calling this an unsportsmanlike.
We're about to find out. Regular foul. The Dutch are at the limit though for this fourth quarter, so it sends Jan Vesely to the line on a 22.7 rebound afternoon for him. He's playing on 4 fouls himself, Jan Vesely. He's 4 of 4 at the stripe so far. A great response to an 0 for 6 game from the field against Serbia. A big cheer as he converts the first.
Well, he's perfect 5 of 5 from the line. The clutch free throws right here for Vesely.
24 to match the number on his jersey. The Czechs by 5 with 50 seconds to play. And we will go to the 2 benches for a Dutch timeout.
There you see Martin Peterka, one of the featured players in today's game, doing damage on the inside and the outside. A phenomenal performance from him. 6 of 8 from the field, 5 of 6 from 3, 17 points, 5 rebounds for the veteran, the 27-year-old, coming up big here in Prague.
Well, the Czechs were soaring at half-time, finishing the second quarter with a 14-point unanswered run to lead by 23. 50 points before the main break. They've only scored 31 since. The Dutch have had a 13-point unanswered run of their own in this second half and have got as close as 3 from 23 down. Now trailing by 5, final minute. Franke, let's see what they've got off the back of the timeout. Edwards up against Kisling and fouled as he shot over the top of it.
So interesting to go to Edwards inside, down 5. You see, got the mismatch on Kisling.
Jesse Edwards hasn't missed a shot all afternoon. Now is not the time to start. He's 4 of 4 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line, 10 points, 9 rebounds. Huge pressure though on the 22-year-old.
Looks good.
In front of 8,000 in the Czech capital. Pressure, what pressure? Edwards makes them both. A 3-point game, 30 seconds to play.
One stop here for the Dutch.
Senel to Vesely. Senel again. The no-look pass to the corner. Peterka! The one-man pressure valve release.
Well, you just cannot leave him open. You have to understand that. He's a sniper from the perimeter.
Martin is money.
And a great pass here from Senel on the driving kick. Karatzi doing his best to close out with 2 hands high. Does not faze Peterka at all. What
6 of 7 on the outside to hit 20 points. Look what it means for the hosts. 24 Vesely, 20 Peterka. It could be the first win for the Czechs. The O2 on its feet. 20.7 to play. The Czechs double their lead to 6. Might this be close to being the end of the line for the Dutch? It could be 0-3 for them. Quick 3 for Franke to keep them alive. Tip, and the rebound and the save, and the passing out of the pressure and the foul.
Well, still 13 seconds left, obviously, in the game, but the time and the hope starting to dwindle here for the Dutch. Again, they put together a nice performance.
This to make it a 3-possession lead. Jaromir Bohatchik obliges. Such a tough preparation. The injury for Satoransky. They lost their last 2 prep games. They lost their recent 2 World Cup qualifiers. They lost their first 2 at this tournament. Satoransky came back and then got hurt again. These fans have waited a long time. Over 4 decades to celebrate a tournament win for their team on home court. Turned over. And there is confirmation in the capital. Tomasz Kisling finishes the job.
Oh, too little, too late.
Response from Williams.
Big time win for the Czechs here at home. They do it, finally.
Prague celebrates a first win at the 3rd attempt for the Czechs to get their EuroBasket campaign back on track. They had to work for it. Up 23 at half-time. The gap close to just 3 by the determined Dutch. But the Czechs see it through to move to 1-2 and drop the Dutch to 0-3. Vesely 24 points to lead the way, but Martin Peterka perhaps the hero of the hour with the big shot from the corner and 6 threes on the afternoon.
Well, you see the shooting numbers again. Got to keep in mind that this Dutch team was down 20 at the half, fought all the way back, 23, all the way back to cut it down to 3. And despite the only being out-rebounded by 12, you see the scoring numbers and great performances from Vesely and Peterka. Franke almost helped them come all the way back. Just couldn't quite get over that hump once again.
Satoransky showing his appreciation to the effort of these fans, the 6th man on the afternoon. And some great performances down on the floor. A huge sigh of relief. A campaign-saving win for the Czech Republic.
And of course, they're back in action tomorrow against Finland. It will be another huge game for the Czechs.
Will Satoransky be available? It seems unlikely, but what a huge occasion it will be to try and get them to 2-2 and help them finish in the top 4 of this group to go to the last 16 in Berlin. So much pressure on them because of the difficult start and then the Dutch comeback. You could understand if they were feeling nervous, feeling like their campaign was collapsing in front of their very eyes. So you have to admire the fight and the focus to get over the finish line. 4 scorers in double figures in the end, behind the 24.7 rebounds of Vesely and the 20 points of the sharpshooter Martin Peterka. They had 12 from Tomasz Kislink, who also had 9 assists with just the 1 turnover and 6 rebounds. And 10 points in 13 minutes for David Jelinek. 8 for Wojtek Kruban as well.
Yeah, Peterka ends up as the TCL player of the game thanks to some timely clutch 3-pointers both in the first half and the second half. Very efficient, 6 of 7 from 3. He came in as one of the leaders in 3-point percentage. I think he leaves this one as the leader in 3-point percentage.
Yeah, he's now 12 of 16 from 3-point range over the 3 games at this tournament. And it's not just about hitting the 6 threes today, as you say, Josh, it's about when he hit them.
Yeah, 75% is unbelievable. From the, 75% free throw shooting is pretty decent, but from 3 is unheard of. So big time shots from Peterka. You see there also got a couple deflections, big rebounds. Of course, Vesely, those 24 points and 7 rebounds can't go unnoticed. But Yannick Franke seems to have somewhat recovered from that hand injury. 22 points, 5 assists, 2 steals for him. Also got to the free throw line 12 times. But look at what it means to Peterka, as well as these Czech fans here in Prague. A tremendous victory for the Czech Republic.
You can see on those shots the release of the pressure. That big shot from Peterka, and Vesely responding to the 0 of 6 game on game day 2. And the Czechs get the win, 88-80 over the Netherlands, after Poland triumphed over Israel earlier, 85-76. A big one to come, Serbia against Finland, Jokic against Markkanen. And Serbia will look to go top of the pile and remain perfect at 3-0. Finland looking for their 2nd win in succession. Well, it's been a pleasure having your company for this one. They are up and running finally in Prague. The co-hosts of EuroBasket 2022 get their first win.